posting more regularly. I'm doing this while my goddamn Rocket League. I got banned, bro. It's tough out here, gang. But enough about Rocket League. We're gonna do a little overview of the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 2. I'm like 300 pages in, but I just want to do a little quick overview on what I think of it so far and the artwork inside. So let's get this off. This is the spine. It has the small font. I got the new printing. This is the back. Well, the cover's on it. A little thing back there. And let's just take this all off. We have the X-Men logo on the back. And then we got the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 2. Little end sheets there. And picture of Scott holding Jean Grey. And this is a Days of Future Past cover, I think. Table of contents and like people who did the book. Now, a little introduction by Claire Cameron. It's actually very interesting. He talks about X-Men. No shit. God. So this starts off with X-Men 132. I've read the Epic collections up to 131. So 94 to 131. I liked them a lot. So reading this omnibus, it was so fresh seeing the letter page and what people thought of the individual issues. And this Wolverine issue, by the way, it was so cool. And this is basically just the Phoenix Saga. This is probably my favorite scene out of the Phoenix Saga just because it's so unique. It's basically Scott gets possessed. Well, Scott tries to go into Jean Grey's psychic link since they have a rapport with each other where they can communicate psychically together, even though Scott is not a telepath. So he tries to use that when he goes from technical difficulties. But basically, he tries to contact her through that rapport and then ends up going into this white space where it turns out that she like envisions him as like a random lad or something, and then Jason Wingard, which is Mastermind, ends up coming in and fighting him in there because I guess he has control of that space, and then kind of kills Cyclops through it. But then, yeah, he comes back, and then Wolverine shows up, and I will not spoil anything else except here. She becomes Dark Phoenix, and this is like the beginning of the end of Phoenix. And I shall not spoil any more. Here's the cover to the Epic Collection. It is remastered in the Epic Collection, but here's the original artwork. Oversized, of course. Let me just skip past this since I don't want to spoil anybody. Here, this is a good issue. It's like a recap of all of X-Men lore, which I found good since I kicked it off with Claremont's X-Men, and I do not plan on going back. I read Epic Collection Volume 4, still reading it. I'm not going back to that era of X-Men. It is so bland, boring, repetitive. It is so bad. I don't care if Volume 4 is different than all the other volumes. If that is how Silver Age X-Men was even written, I don't like it. It's not for me. It's not for me. Maybe Steve Englehart's writing is just not for me. Or, I don't know, maybe the artwork is not for me, but like, I don't like it. So it's basically Cyclops going in about how, in the past of what has happened over the last, few years of X-Men's history. And, yeah, I find it really good since, like, it gets me a little reminder of what's been happening from issue 1 to 66. Then it gets canned and then covers from 67 to 93, and then it kicks off with John Size X-Men, and then we have Claremont's X-Men. Then this annual, I read this the other day. It is so good. So good. Basically, it's like we get Nightcrawler's past in here. So it's Nightcrawler's birthday. He ended up dying. Turns out Stephen Strange comes in, realizes, and ends up being taken along with some of the X-Men to this other plane called, it's basically just hell. And yeah, it's basically just hell. And then it's Dante's Inferno hell. I don't know, like, I only heard Dante's Inferno from that God of War rip-off game. But yeah, basically they go to the 9 circles of hell. And that's the entire issue. But this guy is so entertaining. He is just the biggest a-hole. He is so annoying. And turns out this is all fake. And it's like faked by someone. And we find out it's by Nightcrawler's mother. And we get Nightcrawler's past about how he had a brother. And then he turned evil, so Nightcrawler fought him, snapped his neck by accident. And then the villagers chased him. And that's why in X-Men, John says, you see people chasing Nightcrawler and him escaping right after this. So it goes from his childhood to this, and then we get X-Men. I don't know. I think it fits nicely the way he made it and had a reason for them chasing him besides, oh, he looked weird. And then it ends really well with Kitty Pryde getting introduced to the X-Men in like, we're friends now, you know? The African hair is also amazing by John Byrne. But yeah. And then we have Wolverine's first appearance in this costume. I thought that was really cool. Here's the splash page. But yeah, this is X-Men where Wolverine goes to visit Alpha Flight, ends up fighting the Wendigo from Hulk 181. So that's pretty cool. Nightcrawler's there as well, and he gets his ass kicked. This is part 2 of that story, where they fight the Wendigo, and Wolverine goes all out on him. And then we have some letter pages. The letter pages are really good, by the way. And then just before Days of Future Past, we get this long-winded introduction to, I guess, Terry Austin's experience on the X-Men, the inker of most of these issues. And it's a bit interesting, but I don't know. I don't feel like he explained anything. He was like talking for the sake of talking. I didn't really feel like there was a point to it. I don't know. It was like his experience with it. Here's the cover to X-Men 141. Well, the Uncanny X-Men 141. Wait, 140 or 141? Oh, me and my forgetful memory. And I'm currently reading this right now. It's Kitty Pryde going back in time to try and save the X-Men from a post-apocalyptic future. And it seems pretty interesting so far. Probably my favourite story that I've read. Maybe it might not be above Dark Phoenix. No, not Dark Phoenix. The Phoenix storyline from issues 100 to like 108. That's like peak X-Men. I love that part of X-Men. This is the issue where a demon tries to rampage Kitty Pryde for like the entire issue. I haven't gotten to it, but I've heard good things. The artwork in here is amazing. And of course the letter pages. I really like you get like an in-depth on what the fans were thinking during this long time. We're like, well, how did they respond to Phoenix's death? Some were accepting and thought it was a fitting point for her character, and some others blatantly insulted Chris Claremont on being stupid. So is what it is, you know. But here's the binding. It's sewn and glued binding. The eye is not that big. I actually forced this eye up. It used to be like this. I used my finger on this side, finger on the other side, and lifted it up so that I could create a little bit of an eye. The other books, I don't have to do that. They usually have an eye. But this one, I have to force that eye up just so I can not get that much gutter loss. You can tell because I did it on this page, I think, and that's why it's like this. But it is what it is, you know. Oh, that is some good artwork by John Byrne. And I think Dave Cockrum comes in. Actually, is this Dave Cockrum on artwork? It is. Dave Cockrum is on artwork here. He looks much more clean than he did in John Saws. I don't know why. His artwork always seemed like, maybe it was the inks on it, where it just didn't seem clean. Not bad, but not clean and crisp, if that would ever be a word to describe artwork. Oh god, that is a frightening sight to see Wolverine's face like that. Chris Claremont's long-winded explanation of every scene. Love to see it. This is an omnibus that is recently back in print since October. I'd recommend everyone who has the funds to get it. It's usually like €80, 70, not 70, like 80, 90 euro. So if you could get it, you'll be doing yourself a favour. It's great stories. I personally am loving it so far. Only 200 pages in. I don't know how people get rid of omnibuses in a day. Epic collections can take me weeks, and this is 2 epic collections. This, like, I plan on getting through it maybe by the end of the month, but I don't even know. Oh, and by the way, the reason I got this instead of Epic Collection Volume 8 is because Magneto is long out of print. Not getting reprint anytime soon, in my opinion. Might take like 2 years for that. So I'm going to trade in for the omnibuses. When Volume 1 gets a reprint and when Volume 4 gets a reprint, I'll have 1 to 5. because now I have 2, 3, and I'm getting the preload. It's in delivery. And I will be getting more books. I will be hosting a haul when I get them late January, because the books need to come to my house. So I'm ordering 5 books, one of them being a Batman omnibus, one of them being a normal Batman hardcover, one of them being an oversized hardcover, and then 2 epic collections, which I'm not going to say if they're modern, classic, or what they are. But yeah, just stay tuned for that, I guess. The artwork in here by Dave Cockrum is really good. Not to the heights of John Byrne, but still fantastic. Some Marvel fanfare issues in the back here. But yeah, these stories are very, very good. I can't float that enough. They're amazing. They are just really well written. They have good character drama. You can understand each character's point of view, the way they think, the way they talk, and the way they move. In the beginning, John Byrne has a very direct means of Nightcrawler crawls around on all fours. Scott walks with confidence and leadership. Storm walks slender. Wolverine walks sometimes boastfully, and Peter can sometimes seem tall and awkward when he walks, like he's not fully there. And then when he transforms into Colossus, he can see he's straightforward. And Crazy is that awkward teenager. And, well, he can't really walk in any different way now, can he? No offense to him. He's like my second favorite X-Men. Next to this dude, this guy's the best. So, you can kind of feel that, difference between all of the X-Men in how they walk, move, talk. The accents for each character is, there's such a difference in the way they talk that you can, feel that they're different people, not just characters in a comic book. You can feel yeah, he would say something like that. Now, there is a controversial issue in here. The Phoenix Untold Story, which is a retcon for what happens at the end of the Dark Phoenix saga, is a retcon on what happens to her, and I'm not going to spoil that, but I have gotten spoiled on it myself. It's basically a retelling of issue 138. 138, yeah? No, 137. It is a retelling of issue 137 up until the last bit, where it turns out Jean Grey is not gonna. I'm not gonna finish the sentence. It's not a spoiler. All right, now turn into the extras. Has some sketches and just the pencils of some pages in the back here, without the colors. More sketches of different scenes, which look really good. Can't even lie. And then this is just some unused artwork, some covers. And I think in the back here there's some trade covers, yeah. Some trade paperback, Marvel Masterworks, Phoenix, trade paperbacks, all sorts. Here's the Marvel Masterworks. And the Days of Future Past and Dark Phoenix, oh which she is. Okay, so that is the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 2. Should you get this? Yes. Try and get it before it goes back out of print. What happened to my spine? Bro! Hold up. Wait, hold up. What the fuck just happened to that? What the fuck? Oh, hold up. There, it's fixed. Would you see that? It was like this. Ah, whatever. It's a book. It's meant to be read. And read it I shall. I need to get through this quicker. But, just how it be sometimes. I'm a slow reader. Sometimes I'm a fast reader. You just never know with me. Stay tuned for the full review of each individual issue. Not individually, but I'll do a little review, synopsis and all that. Maybe just a quick 5-minute episode on that. But right now, I'm just planning on getting through this tome of a book, nearly 900 pages. To think that some of my other books are nearly 1,000 plus scare me. But we'll read them. And I will tell you about them. That's all my thing. So see it. I do recommend getting this omnibus. Cheaper is if you're in the UK, anywhere near there. Awesome books, and I know IST is a place in America, in stock trades. So get that if you can. Peace out. Have a lovely day, folks. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Have a good morning. Whenever you're watching this. Peace.